all. Good morning from the garden. I am not going to stay on here long, but I just wanted to touch bases with you because I actually told Chris to come back and get me. So the first part of November. I know Atlanta traffic is going to be I mean, it's always crowded, but I just know for some odd reason, if I do ride with him, it's going to be hours before I get back. So I figured that I can take this time to do a couple of things that we talked about in our garden chore video. That's every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as long as it's not raining. I did want to give you all a sneak peek. I've done these two beds right here. We'll do a full video, talk about what we've planted right here, but I'm excited about that. I want to probably before he gets back, I think I can go ahead and get this bed going. I'm really having some second guessings about what all I want to take up completely because as you can see the heliotrope is starting to get in its prime and it's producing more leaves like down at the bottom. So I will decide if I want to pull the whole plant or if I just want to cut it down and see if it grows back because I did do that for this area right here with the salvia. Although it said that this salvia was an annual, I really feel like it may be a perennial. So if you haven't watched the video, I did do a video on how we took everything up. We pulled all of the mint that's growing, and I do see some that's growing back. And we put snapdragons right here. But what I did was cut down these salvias right here to see if we could get them to overwinter and then come back because there are some annual salvias and then they're perennial salvias. Most of the salvias that I get are perennials, but for some odd reason, this particular variety did say that. So we have some over here. And I got so many snapdragons left, which is why I'm trying to debate on do I just want to pull it all up or do I want to see if those will overwinter. What I can tell you is I really love these salvias because the pollinators love them. So I may just stick some snapdragons in here and stick some Dusty Millers in here. I got some Dusty Millers that are left over. This is the bed that I think I'm going to repeat with the first bed to where I do just pink and white snapdragons. But before I go this morning, because I really want to go ahead and get done with these four beds because I want to start feeding my beds where I have like a lot of leafy greens. And I'll do a separate video on what I feed with and how we do it. But now I feel like we're starting to get some growth. It's actually going to be in the mid 70s next week. I feel like we're getting growth. So I really want to start feeding some of these beds right here. So it is my goal today to at least get these two beds done. And then good news, y'all, good news. And it didn't take long. I keep asking myself why. I think it's because this soil is so clay soil that when I get the shovel and start digging it, it's just like, oh, you should have been done this before. But I've planted 6 of the roses. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something right now. I asked Chris, should I put, and y'all let me know in the comments too. I don't know if I want to put the wood chips down here or if I want to put like a pebble type area because he did say he wanted to block it off just for lawnmower's sake, which I'm with him on that. But I'm gonna come back and put like cardboard down, and I'm gonna come back and put I got to do the cardboard and just cover it up because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna be out here weeding this area, and I've already seen where some weeds are coming up where we started planting, so I got to get real quick on that. But I did do 6 yesterday, and this is what I wanted to tell you before I go. So you all had said before it will probably be best if we do like an ombre effect. And so I started picking out the roses for the ombre effect. Well, y'all, some of the tags, so a lot of these are David Austin roses, which still has the tags on it like this, which I like. But some of them I had picked up at the garden center, and I put the tag on there with the with like the garden marker. Well, that label has gone, erased off. That's no more. A couple of them I had put the actual type of I put the actual tag in the pot. Well, I guess two of them flew off. So while I was trying to produce an ombre effect, I do know that both of these are white right here. This is like I think this is Winchester Cathedral. So some of them do have a tinge of pink and these are falling off, but for the most part, they're white. So I'm trying to do like light to dark, but I have a feeling that some of them are going to get misplanted. And I'm okay with that. I was trying to do my measurements last night, like do I want to go back 3 more rows or 4 more rows? How far over do I want to go in this area? So I'm still deciding that, but I'm going to decide real quick, y'all. I'm not going to be playing around. I'm just going to put them in the ground. If I have to dig them up and move them when I see the color, then that's just what I'm going to have to do. And that's just the consequence of me waiting to plant them, because some of them have dried, the labels are gone and all of that. But I did get 6 done. And so I do want to do at least between 6 to 12 more today and just finish those 2 beds. But as I was looking, y'all, I said, oh, this is going to be really pretty when I'm done. I still got this space over here, and I'm just trying to decide, do I want to put other perennials here or do I want to come out with the roses? So I'm still deciding, but if y'all remember, we are going to put like an arch up here, and I'm trying to also debate if I want to put like a seating area back here. But I got to ask myself, would you really sit back here? See, those are the things that I'm asking myself. Like, if I do decide to do a seating area back here, like, am I going to walk back here seriously and sit amongst the roses? So I'm just doing one thing at a time. But the goal today, just for today, is to get 6 more of these roses planted. I'm at 3. I'm at 3 rows right now. I counted the rest of the roses left, and some of them I may just get like maybe a couple of formal pots and put at the beginning with the arch. But what I want to do on the arch, and I really got to find a very sturdy arch, is I want to put 2 of the climbing roses on each side. So I'm deciding that. I'm deciding, because what I may do with this empty space over here is maybe get like a couple of pots, but I'm still trying to decide, do we want wood chips? Like, do we want to repeat the wood chips that's in the raised bed garden, or do we want to go like with the pebbles? And I do agree with Chris. I'm going to let him help me really define the lines and mark everything off. Now, what he suggested, I don't know if that's what I want to outline it with. I just got to get him to go to the garden center with me and actually like look. But I think he was saying those like the wooden logs, and I'm like, that's not. I definitely don't want that. Only because this is a rose garden and it's going to be kind of more of a formal look. So I didn't want that, but I do want it to be um, blocked off. And I'm still trying to decide over on here. But what I like about this area, y'all, is as it gets later, like it's a nice block of sun right here in this area that's gonna look nice. Now, what I always tell people to remember, now remember, in the fall and the winter, a lot of your trees are going to lose the leaves. If you have deciduous trees, they're going to lose the leaves. If you have the evergreen, they should still stay on there. But those are things that I thought about as well. I'm going to tell y'all just a little small secret, and I did admit it to Chris last night. for sometimes I don't know if it would have been just like too much for the eye when you walk in, but sometimes I think I should have used this pollinator garden over here for the rose garden. But then I said to myself, with these trellises that's like up here, that might have been too much. So some days I go back and forth. But one thing that I did tell him is unless I absolutely have to, the pollinator garden is staying right here. I'm not moving it. But just it's some days I walk out here and I was like, man, I should have really put the rose garden up front, but I don't want it to be just like too much on the eye where you ask yourself what should you focus on first. Those are some things I look at as well, like when I'm trying to plan things out, is I don't want it to be like too busy. And so some days I'm like, yeah, I made the right choice. And then other days I'm like, oh, I should have put the rose garden kind of over here. But that's okay. We're going to get these two beds done today, y'all. I got to pull these up, these pink truffle gumfrinas. I really just think I'm going to cut the salvia back. We're going to put some snapdragons here, but I'm going to do a full video on all four of the raised beds. So we got two. We need to do two more. And then I got a couple of plants in the raised bed that I'm going to replace. I don't know what happened to my little Foxley thyme over here. Look at this frog. I know I saw, yeah, no, that's a, what do you call it? A lizard. But I don't know what happened to it. Like after I planted these up right here, these calendula, when I put that into space, they just kind of like checked out. But this one started growing. So that's why I say sometimes plants, maybe it didn't want the there are a lot of lizards in this raised bed too. It's another one. I hope they in here eating these snails and these different pests that keep affecting my garden. Do y'all see him right here? Y'all look like right on this thing. Do you see those eyes? He just ran. But I hope he's in here eating up some of these pests. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on because I really, really, really want to go ahead, finish these up, and then I need to get things fed. I want to get all of my raised beds fed. With my liquid fertilizer just to give them, some good growth. This was the last bed that we planted. It looks like everything is bouncing back because I was a little bit skeptical about that one, but I think it's going to be okay. I had to spray real good with my mosquito spray that I make myself with essential oils for the simple fact that the mystery bug got me again yesterday and I had on gloves, but it was a little piece of skin that was open and I was digging the holes in the for the roses and I was like as soon as I felt it I was like got me again. But I'm gonna tell y'all, these green beans right here have made me so mad because germination was good, but I'm like, hey, you needed to grow in the summer. And then I have a little bit of pest pressure from the down here, and I do have it in the raised bed, and I just got to show y'all my saffron that is starting to come up. That we got these from, oh gosh, Renee's garden. We got the bulbs coming out and they're starting to pop up right here. So I don't use saffron a lot. I've grown it in the garden in Savannah, but I just love the fact that I can take my tweezers and like a spice jar and just come and harvest, those three threads right here. But before I go, y'all, I got to show you it's so many pollinators on this pineapple sage. So when the sun really comes out, I come out here and I pick my calendula because I'm doing, my calendula salve. And I come pick the calendula. A lot of times I got to talk to the bees and tell it to move. This looks like a potato beetle, a Colorado beetle right here. Look at that. Look at that. I gotta watch. But I come out here and I pick all the ones that's open because with the calendula, what it does is when the sun comes up really nice, the flowers open. They don't open up like early in the morning. It's like once the sun hit them, they kind of come alive. And then the bees just kind of lay in them, which is beautiful. But I ain't gonna get too close, but I just want y'all to see like it's so many pollinators. that are around this pineapple sage. Like I'm looking at honeybees. I'm just looking at so much. And it's just, um, I need to plant some rattlesnake green pole bean. Yes, I got to find somewhere for it to climb because, so Herman Fennel Jr. says I need to plant some rattlesnake green pole beans. This, I got to find a method for the pole beans. We've grown them in Savannah, not that particular variety, but I know I have like my green bean. It's like a, it's steel, but you wrap the twine around it. I gotta find that, which I really feel like it's in the workshop, but I'm going to find that because I had the tomatoes growing up one trellis over here. I know y'all probably can't see because the sun, because I can hardly, it's in my face. And then the other one, I had some tomatoes, and then we had like the sweet peas as well. But I got, you're right, I need to get like a good trellising system right for the garden. But y'all, if you could just see, like, I don't know if y'all can see what I see. If you could just, oh, wait a minute now, don't get in my face. If you could just see all of the pollinators on this pineapple sage. And I keep telling myself, and I'm gonna tell myself one more time, I'm not gonna keep repeating this to myself. So I already took cuttings of two of the pineapple sage, and I have those. So I did a water propagation, but I keep telling myself, you need to go ahead and take some more cuttings of this plant, because I'm not going to say I'm going to have it here, because this is an annual as well. But what I can tell you is so during the summer, now this tree right here is starting to lose its leaves, but I know in Savannah, I struggled with it because it was just hot, it was humid, and it really didn't have, like, it kind of appreciates the part shade in the afternoon or during the hottest part of the day. It appreciates that. So this tree up here that's starting to lose its leaves, it was really, it really gives this a little bit of rest from like the hot sun. So it loves this place, but it does, if I stand back, y'all, like from right here, it takes up a lot. This is supposed to be our herb garden, and I got some more herbs that I gotta grow. It takes up a lot. Like, let me get back here. This sun, whew, it takes up a lot of space. It really does. So I'm thinking, and this is only two plants, y'all. This is two plants of the pineapple sage, and now it's starting to creep like over here. So I'm just trying to figure out. I could put it in the ground. I'll probably have to work with it a little bit, but I could actually put it in the ground. But this pineapple sage takes up a lot. It takes up a lot of space. It's coming out all right here, but I love it. I do love it, but it's only two plants, y'all. This is just two, and the pollinators love it. And I was actually telling my dad last night, let me tell y'all this, and then I'm gonna go for real. I'm about to go because I need to do a lot of deadhead and I need to do a lot of feeding. But let me tell you, so my dad was like, I'm gonna bring my big tiller and till, and he said, so next year you can plant like a he said next year, okay, you live in zone 4B, and they give me, I'm gonna look that up, Herman, and I'm gonna try that. I always try something new in my garden every single year that I haven't grown. And I'm definitely gonna try that. And as a matter of fact, now that you say that, I have a friend at work. I think she grew those. I really do think she grew them. But so I was talking to my dad last night, and I'm giving y'all this view because he came over here a couple of Saturdays ago. He even called me last night about those pink truffle gumfrinas. He was like, if you see that again, please get. I was like, yeah, no problem. I'll go again because I got them from the growers outlet in the Atlanta area. And I was like, oh yeah, if I see them again, I'll pick you up some. Because to be honest, the reason why I have so many in the garden is I had got 2 9 packs, and I was just trying to place them like wherever. So he was just telling me, he was like, yeah, you should do like 1 row of tomatoes next year and 1 row. And I was like, I don't garden like that. That's what they call monocropping. I said, I can't, I I'm not going to say what I can't do. I choose not to do my garden like that. And as I was telling him, I was like, I won't have like one row. Just think of in ground. I won't have one row full of something. I said, because first of all, I got to see some color like this. And then I told him, I said, and then I also like to plant because he feels like I am planting too many flowers. He told me all my raised beds should be for food. And I said, no, 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 no. I know that's how they had to do it. I get it. I promise y'all I get it. But what I was telling him, I said, and I'm going to give you an example. I said, I always plant herbs and flowers with my vegetables because I do it. It is pretty. Y'all don't get me wrong. It's pretty. But I also do it, like I was telling him, is I do it for pest control. I'm going to have to get with this plant right here. I'm going to show y'all in a minute. Now, this one, they're going to stop picking with this one. Whoever it is, whoever, look at this. Look at this, y'all. Now, this the leaf-footed bug right here. And God dang it, I don't have on my gloves. But, I hate doing this without my gloves. I know he's probably going to fly away. Y'all wait. Oh, God. Ugh. But, yeah, so, I mean, they just really picking on this plant right here. But this is what I was telling him yesterday. I'm coming over here to this bed because this one was like one of the first ones that I planted. And it's almost like tomorrow when I make my juices, I'm going to come and take off some of this Swiss chard. Like some of these bigger leaves, I'm going to take those off and I'm going to juice them. But this is what I told my dad. And don't get me wrong, like I grew up, like my grandmother, she had like all of her flowers like in the front. And then she had like the vegetable garden in the back. So hers was separate too. But what I will tell you is the way that she kept her garden, like that's where I learned a lot of the garden from. And it was just, I'm telling y'all, if you ever heard of Southern Living magazine, her garden should have been on the cover several times a year, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I was telling my dad, I said, I don't plant what's called monocrop. I have to plant things different. I said, because like marigolds, I said this on one of the shorts that I did. You are always going to find marigolds in my garden. That's just, they got all different types. They got all different colors. We started these from seed. If you were able to get the summer kit from us, these are the marigolds that we put in the kit. So they got whatever you like. So we got some right here. We got some over here. And we got some right here. Now, marigolds are a annual for us. Like when it gets cold, they will they'll be done. However, if you learn how to save those seed heads, you will have marigolds forever. And a lot of them are going to self-sow because sometimes I'm not on top of coming in. See, this is a marigold. These are marigold seeds. Like all of these are seeds in here. And we'll probably have some volunteer marigolds. Like I know we're going to have volunteer vincas. But what I was telling my dad is my way of gardening is I always mix flowers, vegetables, herbs in most cases when I can, because the marigold serves as a natural pest deterrent. Some of the marigolds are stronger scents than other. They are. Some of the ones I started from seed, you could smell it. Like I think the Proud Mary variety. Oh yeah, that the ones I used to buy, I was like, well, I don't really smell anything. But yeah, those you could smell. I like to plant a lot of herbs within the garden as well, because your herbs also give off a scent that the pests don't like. So these are all natural ways to control pests, because y'all just seen, and look, Lord, bless the little tomato heart. Look at this, y'all. Just growing. We're going to have some volunteer tomatoes too. This is what was in the bed previously. I already know we're going to have some volunteer tomatoes. Now, I have a video coming out where I told people, if you want to, you could actually like pull these up, pot them up. Right now where we're at, I could just like pot them up and leave them outside. But when it starts to get cold, I could take them inside. You got to have a strong light source, and you could really overwinter tomatoes and peppers. I've known a lot of people that do that. But I'm going to tell y'all a little secret right here, right now. Y'all, I got so many seeds, and then I actually had some come the other day for some things I wanted to try. I'm like, you don't have to, I don't have to overwinter them. I just got so many different types of seeds. And in my mind, I think I'm going to grow every one in this air in this area, and I'm like, you got to start pulling up some more of this grass if that's what you're going to do. But I'm saying all of that to say, you see, I have, like, I always like to do my beds. These are like some snapdragons right here. And again, I'll probably put some pansies here once we get our first fall frost. But I always do my beds in a way to where I'm mixing in things. And the reason why I do that is because, just say for instance, I'm finna give y'all an example. Say for instance that I planted this whole bed right here with these are Savannah mustards right here. And this whole bed was up under attack, versus they might nibble off this, but see, I also got some more that are over here. So it's like all over the garden. And so that can be like, where they don't just attack one thing. So I always like to mix it up as well. But this right here, I'm gonna have to figure out, because I do not appreciate whoever is coming in at night and just really taking, I mean, they taking big, that's okay. I got something for them. And it's telling me it's a worm somewhere. And y'all like, how you know it's a worm? I see droppings down here. This is like worm droppings. So what I'm gonna do today, and I like to do it when it gets dark, is I'm gonna spray some BT on all the greens. I'm not gonna keep playing with them. Want to hide their face during the day where I can't see them, but I did see some worm dropping. So I'm gonna just take that. And this plant, ever since I planted them, it's like they've been attacking it, but now they want to start attacking these. But that's okay. I got something for them. I got something for them. I also shared with you all my purple mustards right here that are looking pretty. But let me tell you, I'm about to start harvesting them right now, because I don't cook them like collards or mustards. These got a little bite to them. Like, think of arugula, but stronger. And we got arugula growing over here as well. We got two different types, but think of arugula, but think stronger. That is what the purple mustards remind me of. So I just wanted to say that, y'all, I'm going to work at least for a couple of hours out here, and just try to get really these two big. I got some more beets I got to plant, but look at here. Look at him. These really made me wait right here, these sunflowers, but I'm glad that they did. I'm really glad that they ended up blooming, because we did get temperatures down. I think so far it's been like 39 was the low, but now we're back up in the 50s and the 60s, because y'all know we've only been here for like a year, maybe a year and 2 or 3 months now. And so I knew that the Atlanta area gets colder than the Savannah area, but when it got down to 39, I was like, wait a minute, because I'm not ready yet. But it did warm back up, and I'm just trying to finish up everything, because the fall and the winter, I still garden during those months, y'all, but those are more like my slow months. Um, and so everything is growing at a slower pace. So I'm able to get a lot of things done. So that's why I'm trying to get everything done that I can. And I definitely want to go ahead and get these tomatoes up. Y'all, this is like the last of the tomato plants. Some of them look like somebody bit out of them. But I still got a few more things to do in ground. But what I am going to do right now, y'all, I'm about to get off. I was going to say I'm about to hang up the phone. No, I'm about to get off. And I'm going to work on this bed. I'm going to work on that bed. Now, if I can get that done, I'll feel good. And then remember tonight or tomorrow, well, I always do it before I go to bed, daylight saving time. So that means the clock is going to fall back. So we're going to, it's going to be starting to get dark around 5, 6 for us here in Georgia. It'll be getting dark quicker but lighter in the morning. But due to the fact that I work, y'all, I can't get out here, like at 6:30 or 7 in the morning because I'm at work Monday through Friday. So today I'm gonna have to like really get a lot done, and then tomorrow try to get a lot done so that I can come to you tomorrow. Oh, y'all, I wonder how dark is it gonna be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see. I may have to get on the front porch with the light or just inside. We'll see. Or we may have to change our time. I'll have to think about it here. Here in South Dakota, ooh, it's been down to 28 degrees and in the 60s. Yeah, the weather did like a little dip, and then it got back right, because I really did get a little bit scared. I was like, oh, I know, I sometimes I just have to talk to myself, because in the middle of July I'm like, oh gosh, it's so hot, I'm ready for it to cool down. And then like when it dipped down to 39, I was like, oh no, I'm not ready, not quite ready yet, because I didn't have everything planted. So I feel like if I can go ahead and get these 2 beds done and at least get 6 roses planted today, because what I'm going to work on next, y'all, and I'll talk to you more about it probably tomorrow, is we got to harvest these herbs. We've been harvesting and drying our herbs, and we're going to start offering them to you. But I definitely want to get this holy basil harvested, because here's the thing. For us in Georgia, what I do is I grow chamomile, but I plant it in the fall. I let it get a little growth. I overwinter it. And the reason why I do that is because if you know anything about Georgia, it goes like spring for 2 weeks straight into summer. We don't get like a long spring. And so when it really gets hot, chamomile is like almost about ready to finish up. So I give it a head start in the fall time, and then it'll slowly grow. And then once it starts to warm up, it'll start to bloom. I go ahead and I start to harvest the blooms and dry them. I'll make a tincture with it. I'll make tea, whatever I'm going to do with it. And then I'm ready to put in like some of my annual herbs, like the holy basil. Calendula does better for us in the spring and the fall as well. And then I'm also going to cut back some herbs, and I'm also going to try to propagate some of the herbs as well. Okay, so Herman has cleaned out his raised bed. You're on top of it, Herman. You are on top. You are on top of it. I don't know. I'm gonna get it together though. But I always tell myself, and I'll share this with y'all too. Whenever you feel like you're behind, you're exactly where you need to be. Don't stress out about it. That's what I'm telling myself. Just do what you can, and the rest you can't worry about it. I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm gonna pull up this bed. I'm gonna pull up this bed, and then I'm gonna do the 6, and then maybe Chris will be back, and maybe we'll go have lunch or something. Normally on the weekends we'll go have lunch, or we've already done breakfast this morning. I got up and cooked, but we'll do something like that. But it's gonna have to be somewhere that's like not far from here, because I'm not getting on 75, I'm not getting on 85, and I'm not getting on 285. Like I know better. I know better than to not do that today, this weekend. I already know that's not a good choice. So it'll be definitely somewhere local. We'll do that and we'll come back. So I hope y'all have a beautiful weekend. Tomorrow, let's still say Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I'm going to probably put a poll out on the community post for the fall and the winter months, if you guys want to move it up, because I don't really do a whole lot on Sundays afternoon. If you want to move it up, or if you're okay with maybe just say, I'm not going to say once a week, but I would say once a month. Like if I do kind of like a master class inside over the fall and winter, like, maybe we could talk about starting seeds. Maybe we can talk about container gardening. Just some, and y'all put suggestions in there too. I'll put that in the community post. Put some things like if we do have maybe like a master class once a month, what are some things you want to talk about? Or we can move the time up and just kind of go over it that way. Herman, negative 25. Let me tell you, I got a friend that stays in Nebraska, and I think this may be her first or second winter, but I know she said her son went outside and you know, I already know I'm not equipped for the extreme cold weather. I think like his something like just froze up, like his hair. Man, I don't know. I don't know, but she said that they got down like in the negatives, and I was like, ooh, that would be that would be something I would have to get used to. I mean, we stayed in Germany. What I can tell you about Germany is they do have like all four seasons. Um, but I just I don't remember us getting like in the negative. That part I don't remember. When you talk about in the negative, y'all, that's ooh, yeah. Like I said, you never know. I never say don't never because you never know what situation you may be put in. You'll have to adapt. But one thing I can tell you about it, and I did learn this when I moved to coming from Georgia, moving from somewhere like Germany. Let me tell you what I did learn. Oh, you better have the right type of gear, like cold gear, because Georgia, we don't. I think and that was extremely cold to me. For about 2 or 3 days, we got down to like 13, and I was like, I'm not going outside. But you have to have the right type of gear. Even staying in Germany, you got to have things like the right type of tires. Like you better have the right stuff in order to go through cold weather like negative 25. That's a lot. That's and make sure if you do got a HVAC system, you better make sure you service it because I don't think anyone wants to like, it's I already so I think twice in Savannah and here, y'all. When we first got here, I would say about let me see, we moved here last July and it was still kind of hot. I think maybe September, the AC went out. I was like, oh, y'all, you talking about somebody sticking their head in the freezer. And I'm like, Chris, you going to have to call somebody out. It was on a Sunday. And I told them, I don't care. If they charge more for a Sunday service, come on out. And we had that one little portable AC, which I'm glad we kept. And I'm glad we had it with us because I think we had just got our things. But I'm just saying all that to say, whether it's extreme cold or extreme heat, you want to have your stuff right because when it goes out, you become a different person. And like I told this to my mom too, because something went out of hers. I said a lot of times we take for granted a lot of things until we don't have it. We take air condition, we take heat for granted, but when it goes out, let me tell you, you better be thankful. I'm so thankful that I have like the smallest of things. Like sometimes I'm in the shower, I'm like, thank you for hot water. Like some people don't have hot water. But yeah, y'all, I'm not gonna get on that. Let me go ahead. Let me start on this bed right here. This is not gonna take long. Yesterday, after I got off work, I knocked this bed out. I pulled all the Vincas up from this bed. What I will tell you is we're going to have a lot of volunteer Vincas. They were already coming up, but I pulled them. So I'm quite sure next spring and summer, I'm going to have some free Vinca plants. And so, yeah, because I see one right here. So they self-sow too. They're annuals, but they self-sow. But I knew if I wanted to get some growth on these beds, I'm going to have to go ahead and pull them. I still could have left them in, but I do want to get some growth on the Dusty Millers and the Violas that you see and the Snapdragons. But once again, I'll do a quick video, y'all. Like once I'm done with all four beds, I'll do a quick video and just go over all of the things that we have planted. And then we just going to watch it grow. So you all... I hope you have an amazing Saturday. I'll put a post up later on this evening. Be on the lookout for it. And we'll talk again soon. Bye, y'all.